Alright, so I just got the Max. There's garage. We got these new slicks in here. These are from Garage 16. We're letting them sit outside in the sun a little bit. Max, what's up? Ça va? Let's show people what we got. So we bent our Speed Factory selector, and Speed Factory gave us a new one, which is great. Thank you, Speed Factory. And now we got something new here that we're going to be running, and this is a big upgrade. This is brand new. Almanzar Motorsports. So check this out. This ain't bending, guys. Yep. So we're gonna have this setup here, but we're gonna be running this. So basically we're gonna change this interlock. We remove that one and put this one. And look at the fit there. Now there's no chance in ever bending these, and this is a common thing to bend. You know, so this can cost you a final like it cost us the other day. Yeah, I think we lost the finals because of this. Yeah, so that's it. It's really exciting stuff. Check them out, guys. Oh, look at the fit. That's perfect.
6 000 $. 2 pistons.
C'est juste ça qui reste?
Juste ça. Même, mais la rod n'est pas bonne parce que le cap était tout mangé, fait que je l'ai crissé au vidange, mais c'est pour faire des mesures. Des fois, c'est juste pour faire une mesure. On a quelque chose à mesurer avec un autre bloc.
Fait qu'on a un outil de mesure avec le restant.
On a fait des... C'est ça, on n'a pas de rod en fait. Là. Il reste 2 pistons.
Puis on va se le dire, on va jamais rien mesurer avec ça, là, la vérité.
Non, c'est juste pour voir, on a un bloc chez V, puis on veut juste me comparer
la hauteur,
des rods.
Juste voir comment il sort.
Ouais, non, c'est juste pour, des fois, juste pour descendre un piston, pour voir pour mesurer le decade. Puis ça, ben, c'est ça. Là.
Ah, bon,
Faudrait être très mal pris, mais sinon ça fait un beau bibelot. Hein.
Alright.
On peut faire un cendrier avec.
Ok, fait que là on va faire un auction. Qui veut ça? Vous pouvez mettre votre donation
en fait, on va faire
dans les comments.
On fait un
raffle, le main cap.
5$, 250 personnes. 5$.
Allez-y les gars, 5$, 250 personnes. Je vais vous annoncer le gagnant. Guys, $5, 250 people. I'm going to announce the winner for this beautiful main girdle cap that's seen a world of problems. Look at that. We'll be expecting at least to sell out by the end of the night. All right? Sell out. So hurry up and get your spot and we'll let you know who wins. All right, no, on to some serious shit now. We're going to assemble the transmission. So we bent the selector. The selector ended up, you know, totally shifting all the gears out of whack, and we lost in the finals because of it, because second gear wouldn't go in. And not only second gear wouldn't go in, but, you know, because it went half in, it grinded up the dog teeth on second. So we damaged the dog teeth on second. We a bit damaged the dog teeth on the slider too, but we're gonna have to reuse it for now because we don't have anything else. And but it looks like it's going to be okay to do at least let's say one event, you know, but then we're going to have to get a new slider. But as for the gear, I had my old gear set, which was the older profile. So GTS had like a different profile gear set before. GTS, what am I saying? GATS had a different profile gear set before, and now that they came out with this new one for 2024, it changed some of the ratios. So like before, our second gear was a 164, now it's a 157. So we basically put the 164 back in, and we're running all the rest of the stuff in the 164. So we're gonna assemble it like this, do our next outing, and then we got some new parts coming in, and you know, for the time after, we'll be prepared to put all the brand new stuff back in the transmission. But this should do the job. I mean, we've had this running for a long time anyways. All right, so now what we're doing is we're checking the heights of all the sliders just to make sure everything lines up right. The way we do this is we put in these two first without tightening this bolt down here. So this bolt down here will center the movement of the selector. We don't want to put interference with the selector for now. First, we're going to check that our heights are right. So making sure that the slider is absolutely in the center between third and fourth. And then same thing with the slider between first and second. It's got to be centered. Once we know that, then we loosen these bolts and then we tighten the one down there. And we'll check to see that the selector is also centered. So then if the both of them are centered, then you can tighten all of them, and then the neutral point is going to be equal amongst both. But what happens is when this gets bent, when the selector gets bent, and then this offsets, you're basically fighting between two beads. So your neutral starts becoming very loose, and that's why, you know, it's like almost wanting to fight into neutral into the forks, or into neutral into the selector. So that's what we're going to adjust now. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to loosen this. The screw down here for the selector is tight. Can't really see it because of the zoom, but right down there, that screw is tight with a bead inside. So now this is going to put the selector to its middle point. And when you see here, you know the slack obviously here, but let's say between the dog teeth, it's about equal. So it's right in the middle between this tooth and that tooth. The gap between both is the same. So now what we're gonna do is tighten that, and it stays at the same spot. It doesn't fight it. So you see now it tightens up, but it stays exactly in the middle between the two. So what happens when a selector is bent is that this is gonna pull that slider to a different center point. So that slider might be closer to third, let's say. So when you take out this one, this is gonna wanna go hug third. And then when you put this back, it's gonna come back up to third. So if the selector's bent, it's gonna hug. If the fork is bent, it's gonna hug, same thing. So you always check individually. You check that they're centered with the fork and centered with the selector. All right, so we're basically done. We checked everything. Mac's is gonna finish the assembly now and then put it back in the car. And that hopefully gives some information for some guys when you're double checking stuff, you know? And always make sure always individually check like first, second, third, fourth on the dog side to make sure they spin well, they're not binding up. You know, but that you have to do without any selectors or anything. You got to do one by one. You just got to make sure that, like, when this bolt is tight, that everything spins well, and that when everything is assembled on top with some pressure over here on the main shaft, that fourth and third spin well, that they're not binding up, the bearings are okay, and that's it. You know, so it's just like a couple steps we take every single time we reassemble, every time we recheck, make sure we do things right, and you know that's what kind of saves things to be better for the future, better for the transmission. Double check everything. You know, the more you can check, the better, because things go wrong, and that's the only way to make sure the thing lasts. All right, Max. Ciao, bro.
Ciao.
See you later. All right, guys. So I just got to Max's garage. We are looking at the car, trying to see. You know, we're gonna put back on the transmission. We're gonna make sure everything sits right. But we're looking at the car, trying to see our approach for the next time out. We absolutely want to run a 799 so that we can try to be in the first stage for World Cup finals. Because I have a feeling that if we're second stage, you know, there's a chance we're not going to get in. So we really got to run a 799. We got to kick it up a little bit and get that shit done. So we got some cool stuff. We got a new shifter, got a long shifter. Now this is definitely going to help, you know, make sure we are not overthrowing the shifter and then bending selectors. So that's going to help. Then we got the new selectors, like we said the other day. Max, when I left the other day, I had to go. So, you know, now I left you guys off with the way we were checking on the transmission. And now the transmission's all assembled. So Max got that all together. It's ready to go, ready to roll. Now we got some parts, like I was saying. I'm gonna change this. I have a ghetto one that we made out of metal. I'm gonna put this on. We just got this. We're gonna try to get the shifter on before the next event. But the little secret sauce that we might be hitting the car with. I don't know if Max is gonna want me to put this on video, but the secret sauce. Yeah, well, I got in touch with one of my buddies. He's an old school drag racer, and this guy, you know, all the old school drag racers, the V8 guys, they love that nitrous. So we're gonna put a little set that he lent me. We're gonna put a little nitrous setup that he lent me. We'll try to see if we're either gonna go direct port or if we're just gonna do a little nozzle on the intake. I'm not sure. You know, we're looking at what we're gonna do, but I think we need that extra little juice in third and fourth gear just to, you know, bump it up a little bit and try to get a 7-second pass. I really want to be in first stage so that we don't have to worry about World Cup. We know we're there, and you know, got to do what you're gonna do. So that's it, Max. Yep. We check it out now. We're about to get going with this.
Install some new parts. Do a little cleanup before.
Obviously, I'm not going to use these little injector cups there. I'm not doing it like this, you know. But what we're thinking is maybe just unscrewing the fitting on this aluminum, and then drilling a hole into the intake manifold on each runner and putting it directly into the runner. So we have 4, at least, you know, properly distributed amongst all 4 runners, and then we'll start low. You know, like we're not going to hit it with too much nitrous at the beginning, but we'll start low. We'll see how it takes it. I also want to see how many outputs I have left on the ECU, because if we don't have too much going on in these, because you know the ECU's been like basically filled up with everything possible. So like I don't have many inputs and outputs. I don't have much space left to control stuff. So I got to see what I got left, because I'm using the nitrous features for something else right now. I got to see what else I got left as options, and if I can associate it to somewhere so I can actually, you know, give more fuel and adjust the timing necessary for adding the extra nitrous. So if I don't have too much space, we might just run like a light shot just to kind of wake it up. Maybe like a 40-50 shot just to cool down the intake charge and light it up. If not, if we have space in the ECU and once I look at things, then we'll decide if we'll do a direct port and like properly control it and maybe hit it with, you know, some extra sauce and see what kind of pills we put in this thing. So I'll keep you guys updated, and I'm sure you'll notice it on the mile an hour if we end up putting a direct port. All right, guys, so I came home and I'm prepping some stuff for Max. What I told you guys before is like we got the new shifter. I mean, it's used, but we got a shifter. Thing is, the strain gauge we have doesn't have the same threads as the long shifter. So the long shifter has a different thread pitch altogether. So we need to fit on an OEM thread, because the strain gauge we have is a little bit different. It fits an OEM thread. Most of these new strain gauges nowadays fit a different thread. So the OEM thread is an M10 by 1.5. So what I did, this thread was a little bit bigger, so I just brought it down a little bit, and hopefully this will do the trick. I'll be able to re-tap it and then, you know, get the right thread on there. What is this guy doing?
I'm on parole, bro.
Oh,
what? On est dime stack, bro.
Dime stacking, look at that. Oh shit.
Stacking down, bro.
Right in the car, no protection. Tabarnak. Gamoto. All right. So,
Baby bottle.
what? Bottles are for babies?
Baby bottle.
All right, so that's the setup. Put a little bracket at the bottom to hold it. Another bracket weld to the cage. Should be solid. And now we're just gonna wire it up to the ECU. We got a little jet under the intake. And let's hope we get a 7-second pass. That's the plan. I don't know if it's gonna really do it though, but we'll see. Some people are telling me like the mile an hour might go up, but it might not really help that much. I don't know, we'll see. We just really want a 7-second pass. We might start off just by doing a regular run with no nitrous. And then take it from there, see what the car does, get a little log, see what the launch, see everything's right, and then we throw the nitrous in. And Max M1.
Elle est déjà à 900. T'avais pas vu, là?
No. Yeah. So what do we do to the car now? Let's go over it. We did.
Brand new slicks.
Parle comme Tato, est-ce que...
Ok, tu je parle en français. Slick neuf, Nitrous, le shift cuff, la transmission, Almanzor, shifter, tout là. C'est là que ça se passe là.
C'est là, là.
Je me souviens même pas de tout ce qu'on a fait là. Nitrous, slick neuf, transmission, nouveau moteur,
Sélecteur.
string gauge. On n'a même pas voulu encore avec un string gauge. On va mettre du M1 en plus.
Ben là,
Ah,
prochaine sortie. Mais même moi, même pas ça pas trop.
Déjà tout mix. Everything is mixed already.
You know what else is mixed? Fucking we talk French, we talk English. We're gonna be talking Greek soon too. El Arakamoto, Pustere, Malaka.
On met the good gals, man.
El Are.
Bon, ouais, on fait ça.
Εδώ θα αρχίσουμε να μιλάμε όλες τις γλώσσες. Για τους Έλληνες, να ξέρουν και αυτοί ότι μιλάμε και ελληνικά. Έτοιμοι. Έχουμε βάλει και νίτρα.
J'ai tout checké le moteur, j'ai tout ouvert les bearings un matin. J'arrivais à 6h le matin pour être sûr que tout était sur la coche. Rebuild la transition, sélecteur neuf, sélecteur Speed Factory, le shifting en Manzar, tout checké bearings.
Interlock en Manzar.
Tout checké bearings, me retorqué tout. Changement d'huile eneos. On va mettre du VP M1 en plus.
Ouais. VP M1 VP. Guys, that's actually something I want to talk about. Check this out. So we run Eneos oils. Eneos oils, you guys know it's a lead sponsor on the car. We run Eneos oils. We run that in our engine. We run the racing formula. They have another blend also,
Actually,
racing formula.
We ran this last event.
Yeah.
I checked the bearing. Everything was fine.
Beautiful.
And we were running that, and the oil was perfect.
Yeah. So Max came in at 6 a.m. this morning because just wanted to go over things, wanted to make sure that everything looks right.
It's a good event this weekend, so it's the biggest one.
Yeah, so he took out the oil pan, he took out the rods, the rod caps and the mains, and he wanted to double check to make sure there's no scoring anywhere, because that's actually what I believe messed up the other block. C'est quoi ça? Le jack qui glisse ou la soudure a craqué?
Non, le jack.
Parce que je ne l'ai pas soudé en dessous, tu t'en rappelles? C'est une soudure qui a craqué, hein?
Non. Le jack il glisse. Il descend là, il commence à avoir la misère le jack.
Okay. All right, so we're good. So what was I saying? Yeah, he took apart everything. He took apart the motor. He checked all the bearings. He made sure everything's good, because that's probably what caused the other engine failure. And after looking at the data log and something that I discussed with one of my friends, what we noticed is that because the engine blew on the shift to fourth, right? But when you see third gear, when third gear engages, there's like a big power drop. And the car, for no reason, boost is there, everything's there. The car should be accelerating, no problem. And then there's like a power drop. The car dies down, and this is while it's in grip. This is not while it's spinning. So it wasn't spinning and then dropped down. Like, it actually, mile an hour, slows down, then comes back. And as it came back, then he shifted fourth. And on the shift to fourth gear, that's when the motor blew. So I have a feeling that the bearings were seizing up. So maybe the reason why the motor slowed down like that was because it was tightening up on the bearing. The bearing tightened up, wanted to seize up, and then on the shift of fourth gear, well, everything was red hot and just snapped right off. The rod bolts broke, and the cap flew off the rod. So I have a feeling it's something related to that. But I mean, you know, we'll never really know 100% unless, I mean, we won't know 100%, but whatever, that's what it looks like. So that's why Max is adding a little attention. And you know, he does that pretty often. He always takes apart the engine, he takes apart the fan, double checks everything. It's like a common thing, you know, it's not, you can't just go back to the racetrack and assume that everything's good. So, alright, so là on va juste le partir pour faire warm up un peu le moteur avant de... Au sol, non? Tu peux pas être un peu plus haut?
J'ai vu des tablettes dans ma vie, mais tout est une bonne.
T'allais mettre la bouteille en dessous? Safety first.
Hey, ça marche! Mais il faudrait que tu mettes un peu plus de gaz. Ça marche tellement! Là.
Tu vas pas me le dire, tu vas mettre la main, hein? Ah, je pense qu'il est lean, John. Mets un peu de gaz.
J'ai lâché parce qu'il était lean un peu. Je mettrais 25% plus. Juste pour être sûr.
This guy is fucking gonna force me to put M1.
Oh.
Yo, I got a feeling.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night.
All right, you're gonna hold the hose. I'm gonna just check that everything's programmed right and.
Ouais, tiens, on va te le dire quand, là. Inquiète-toi pas, ça popera pas tant que je vais pas te le dire.
Are you reading online how to use a test light?
No, I'm fucking stars in my pocket. Tabarnak. It's no good. Bon, Mets le gaz dans le fond. Lâche.
OK, so il y a du courant. Le ground est-tu bon? Peut-être qu'il n'y a pas un bon ground?
Ouais, c'est ça. OK.
Tu l'as groundé où? Where'd you ground it? You know what? Actually, let's solder the loop. Let's put solder on the tip of the loop. Maybe it's not getting a good contact. Ou point inversé, c'est la même chose.
Non, non, à moins. Non, non. Que les sont mal crimpés. Vas-y encore. Lâche. Pèse.
Ah, il marche pas.
We got the big fucking solenoid here.
All right, yeah, we're gonna try this one. BBC solenoid?
A big motherfucking solenoid. Pèse.
Ben oui.
OK. Stop. OK. Vas-y, là. Vas-y, lâche. Vas-y encore. Vas-y. OK, lâche. C'est froid, hein? C'est froid, hein, la nitro, c'est froid, c'est froid.
Lâche, lâche!
OK, lâche-le. Est-ce que je connais ça, les astuces de là de merde de tabarnak?
All right, guys, so we're done for today. We're ready to race tomorrow. I'm done. I'm leaving. Max already took off. He's been here from like 6 in the morning, so I let him check out. And I finished up. I did the rest of the wiring. I finished it up. I passed it from the ECU to control it from the PMU. The PMU sends out the output, and I tested 2 solenoids. One of these solenoids, this one over here, pulls about 27 amps, so I'm not using that one. The other solenoid pulls about 4 amps, this one here. And since we're not doing a big shot, it's only gonna be like about a 50 shot just to cool down the charge and like maybe help it out at high RPM. So I don't need such a big solenoid. I feel like that's just gonna drain the battery for no reason. It's not really necessary, and I'd have to run it on 2 pins on the PMU because the PMU takes up to 25 amps on that pin. So running that's like around 27, 28. I would have to, you know, rewire it with a double pin and then use an output extra and waste space on the PMU for no reason. So basically I decided to run it without the big solenoid. I'm going to run the small solenoid. I put a 50 shot of a jet on the intake. The shot's right underneath the intake over there. Max is going to final install it, you know, like it's not mounted up or anything. I was just doing some testing. I closed the bottle, everything's ready, and it's ready to go. So all he has to do is come in the morning and mount the solenoid, and it's good to go. I made it that it's going to engage after 120 miles an hour. So it's about, you know, let's say beginning-ish of third. Let's say the first quarter of third. So it's gonna have a 50 shot of nitrous in all of third and all of fourth. Third gear usually hooks up very well at a good track. So third gear wouldn't need, like I don't have a traction control in third and fourth. So I think adding a 50 shot won't do anything. Like I don't think, sometimes I get a little bit of wheel spin like as you shift third. But I think, you know, if I just keep the nitrous to come on once the car is settled into third, I think it's gonna be just right. So help the car, you know, just kind of give it that extra it needs in third and fourth gear, because it's basically the back half where this turbo isn't giving us enough. So I think in the front half, you know, we can manage about 145 miles an hour, and in the eighth, and especially with the settings the way we have them now, I have a feeling, you know, plus 140 mile an hour in the eighth, and I'm hoping for like a 5.3 something. And if we can do a 5.3 something in the eighth, with the extra nitrous in the top of third and fourth, we might see something pretty good, and hopefully that'll allow us to qualify for World Cup. I think at World Cup, if you have nitrous, you have to add 100 pounds to the car. So the way it looks is, you know, we'll be able to run nitrous on the 64 millimeter turbo if it's just a penalty of 100 pounds. So Right now the car is like about 2,400 pounds. So if we do it like this, we would be at the bottle weight, maybe let's say 2440, 2450 right now with the nitrous. We'll see what it does. You know, 24 and change with the nitrous, 24 even without the nitrous bottle. We'll see what it gives. So I'm heading out, checking out. We'll talk again tomorrow morning once we're at the track, and let's try to get in those numbers for the top 10 list. Let's knock them down. Let's get out of that. I think we're in 8th position right now in Quebec. So we're number 8th in overall SFWD in Quebec, following a couple of pretty fast cars. So we were at the beginning of the year, we stepped in as 5th, and we've been bumped down to 8th. So we need to get some of that seat time and reclaim our spot. So hopefully tomorrow we can do that. So I'll check in with you guys in the morning. We'll be loading up the car in the trailer and heading out to the track. We're going to Naperville Dragway. See you guys tomorrow. Ciao. Hey, if you guys got this far, I really thank you for watching and sticking around for everything we've been doing. This is going to be a 2-part video. It's very long to edit, but I will tell you, you definitely got to see part 2. There was some pretty cool stuff. So I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.